Hi everyone, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss what are relational operators. So previously we have learned what are arithmetic operators and then we have learned what are assignment operators. So it's time to move ahead and learn relational operator. Okay, so let's jump to our next slide. So what are relational operators or comparison operators? As the name suggests, relational operators are the operators which determines the relation amongst different operands. Okay, for example, in Python we have these six relational operators: equals to for equality, not equals to for not, which is not equals to some value, greater than, less than, greater than equals to, and less than equals to. Now result of these equals to operator is a boolean value depending upon whether the comparison is true or false. Okay, let's jump to our PyCharm and see these in action. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. Now you can see in my project I have two files, first.py and p_001. Today we are going to create another file p_002. Okay, what I'm going to do is right click on it and click on new and go to the Python. Okay, now I can do it p_002, but that is not very meaningful, so I'm going to create, let's say, relation underscore operator. Okay, now you don't need to specify .py extension here, just click on OK, and now you can see I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to the view and jump to my presentation mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to store the value of x in some variable. I'm going to store 90 in x and then y is equals to, let's say, 80. So these two values are not equals to, which are not equal. Let's print this, print x equals to y. Okay, so this is very simple, I think, and let us execute. And here is my file relational operators. Just click on it and now you can see. So now you can see my result is false. Okay, now I can store this result here also. Let's say z is equals to this thing, and then I can simply write down this. Okay, and let us execute this piece of a code and see relational operator. Now you can see my output is still false. So this is how this thing works. So first of all, what it does, we have a x, the value of x is 90 and then equals to 80. Okay, so which is false, and that's why it is giving you false. Now let us evaluate one more expression by simple changing it to 90, and let us execute this piece of a code and check it. Now you can see true. Okay, so your relational operators gives you only boolean value, that is true or false, depending upon whether the relation is correct or incorrect. Okay, now similarly we have another value. Let's say here what I'm going to do is not equals to, which is logically opposite of a equals to, and let us execute this piece of a code and see the result. Okay, now you can see false, since 90 and 90 is equal to each other, and that's why we are getting false. Now if I change it to some other value, let's say 91, and check it again, then you will find that it's true this time. Okay, because it work just opposite to equals to. Okay, similarly, let's say x is smaller than y. I think you have guessed it, the output must be true, as 90 is smaller than 91. Now let us assume if we have equals to equal values. Okay, so we have x is equals to 90 and y is equals to 90, and we are evaluating x less than y. So if you see or analyze, this statement should be false, and here is no exception, right? So I think this statement is really very easy to understand. And now we have less than equals to. Now the difference is we have a equals to operator after less than sign. So this time this must give me true, right? Okay, see, I'm getting true because the value is equals to 90. And then one more thing, this operator gives you true if the value is less than or equals to the LHS, right? So let us write one more example, print, and this time I'm writing 90 or 98 is smaller than, let's say, 50. Okay, and let us execute this piece of a code and see, and this is false since 98 is the greater value. Okay, and less greater than, if I try to execute this gives me true. Okay, and similarly for equals to, I will get a false here at this time, and but if I specify it to 98, now the result is changed and gives you true. Now let us execute these operations or try these operations on strings. Let us we have a is equals to apple and b is equals to apple and c is equals to, let's say, another time apple. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a is equals to b. Now see, we have a is equals to apple and b is equals to capital A and then apple. So only difference is capital A and small a this time. And let us execute and see what is the output. Okay, you are getting false. I think you have guessed it why we are getting false, because there is a difference. But if I try to use a equals to c, and let's check it, it is giving me true. So when we are comparing these strings, they are case sensitive. Now what are case sensitive? That means if a case is different, or if we compare smaller case with a capital case, then these values are treated as different values in Python. Okay, now we have a is greater than, let's say, b. Okay, now let us find out what is the output. Now you will see it's false. Now guess why? Because the value of a begins with small a and small a code is 97. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print ordinal value of small a and then print the value of capital A. And let's see what are these values. So when I execute, I am getting 97 for small a and 65 for capital A. So, and my comparison was like this: a is smaller than b. So what we are getting here is 97 for the first character and 65 for the first character in b, and comparison is done somewhat like this: print, and here we have a 97 and which is less than equals to 65. Okay, so already now you can see this statement is giving you false, that's why this one is also giving you false. Okay, fine. Now suppose if you specify like this, okay, then also it will give you false. Let's execute this one, and if you try to change the value like this, so this will also give you true. Okay, now I have changed the value of b to something, but it still starts with a, and I'm going to change the value of this one also to something else, let's say AUL. Okay, now execute this piece of a code and check whether it is true or false. So it is true, and let us change it to, let's say, AA and try this time and check. Okay, see, false. Okay, now why it is so? Because first of all, the comparison is done for the first character. Okay, if it finds both the character are equal, then it goes to the next character. Okay, and see, here we have a 97 here, but we have a different value that is greater than a for p. Okay, now if you try to print the value of p here, now you can check by executing it. So the value of p is 112, which is compared to 97, that's why we are getting false. Okay, I think this is really clear to you how strings are evaluated with relational operators, right? Now let us discuss few more things that are really important when we are using relational operators. Let us write an expression, print, and specify the values. Let's say it be 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.3. Okay, and let us compare it with, let's print it first. Okay, now you can see it is not exactly 0.9. Okay, now if you try to print like this, print, see the same statement is equals to 0.9, what you will get is false. Okay, I think it is really very clear. So when you are calculating fractional values, these are calculated in approximation, because 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.3 gives you nearly 0.9, that is in approximation. This is the reason the result is false for equality comparison of 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.3 is equals to 0.9. Okay, I think this is really very clear to you. So whenever you are doing, you have to fix it, okay, or round it nearest integer so that you can get a exact comparison. And in real time scenario also, if you have to avoid relational comparison with fractional values. Now let us work out last agenda point for today, that is equality operator. Okay, now equality operator is called is, and let's see the example. We have a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 20. Okay, and let's use print a is b. Okay, now obviously just like equals to, you are getting false here. Okay, because these values are not equal. And if you try to use 10, and then we are getting true. Okay, so because a is pointing toward the 10 and b is also pointing toward the 10, somewhere in the same location. Remember what I said is, if you check the id of a and print the id of b, what you will get are same values. Okay, that's why this is giving you same result, okay, or true. Now you must be thinking, is just similar to equals to, but it is not the case, because I will show you the difference. Let's SBABC, and I have entered, let's say S1 is equals to input, enter the value. Okay, now here I'm printing this S comma S, and I'm printing, let's say S is S1. Okay, here I'm going to print it. See, so first of all we are printing the S. I am expecting ABC, and I will input ABC here also, so this will also be ABC. And if I try to compare this, you will get a true or false. And let's check it out what I will get. And let us print this also, S equals to S1, right? Let's say S equals to S1 here, so that it clearly signifies it, slash t. And here also let's say S is S1, let's have a slash t here. Okay, so this is it. Now let us execute this piece of a code and see what is the output. So here my task is to enter ABC, so my S contains ABC. Now after entering it, I must get ABC here also. Let us enter. Now see what I am getting. So here is the value of S, that is ABC, S1 ABC. But if I try to evaluate this one, S is S1, I'm getting false, but for equals to I'm getting true. Okay, now why it is? because this S1 and S2 are not pointing to the same memory location or do not have the same IDs. Let's print the IDs of these two different variables, ID, and here let's print ID S1, and let us execute this and see. Let's have ABC here again. Now you can see the address, that is 659, and you can see 960. Okay, so there is a difference between the address here. That's why this one gives you false and this one gives you true. So do not make any mistakes to compare equals to with is operator. Is operator is evaluated true when the object points to the same memory location, and in the case of string inputted by the user and string defined as a constant, they have different locations, right? Now let us have one more thing. B is equals to ABC, and if you try to use this one, print S is B1 and try to execute this piece of a code, you will get a true because we have defined as a constant. So if you defined as a constant, both the IDs are same, but if you take a input and the values are similar, then your equals to evaluates to true but is fails. So if you want to check the IDs or references, then is the operator you want to use, and if you just want to check the values, then equals to operator is for you. So here I am going to conclude my session. Hope you have understood what are comparison operator and what is identity operator, and in the next video we are going to discuss some more operators. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.